It's Paulo.
Hey Josh.
Hi,
Hey everybody.
what's happening?
Nice to see some familiar faces, some unfamiliar faces. Um, yeah, I had a question. It might be maybe seeming a little simplistic, but something that's just coming up today. I've noticed that one of the most potent experiences for me in the awakening process is when deep emotion comes up and it is fully felt. And there's a kind of a sense that there's a lot more energy after that I have sort of at my disposal. There's just a lot more freedom, a lot more fluidity. And I can feel that it's something that I kind of seek now because I have felt so good after these kinds of like, I'd say like emotional releases. Um, and I've just noticed a couple things. So one is it's much more easier to access these deep places in me when I'm with other people, like maybe in a circle or doing something together. When I'm alone, sitting at home, it somehow feels quite numb, like it's some layers of opacity and, kind of thickness cover it up. Um, so then bringing me, okay, all to today and why I'm bringing this up is today I put a song on that completely ripped me open. And I realized that I'd kind of been avoiding music, well, like maybe like sentimental music or music that had a lot of kind of emotional um, hooks. I think I'd been kind of avoiding them for a long time because I was subconsciously like trying to not cross that line, not tip over into the other side. So then today I was listening to the song and I was realizing it's so it's so right here. Like all those feelings, all those emotions are actually like right. They're just a millimeter away from being felt. And my question to you is, I've never heard anyone talk about using like music or using other stimuli as sort of like a doorway to that part of myself or to ourselves in this process. Um, is it kind of like cheating or or is it like it can be self-indulgent. I think there's a kind of a flavor of it where it's like, oh, poor me, or you sort of like in a way reinforce a story, but then there's a way to access that's very honest and very open and super grounded and real. And I guess I just didn't know that was there. Like I always thought of using a movie or music or somebody else's artwork, as a kind of self-indulgent form of exploring expression. But today I was like, it doesn't have to be. I didn't feel like, and maybe it was actually could actually become a really potent tool to kind of, because it's just a membrane, right? Like the inside of an egg, between the chick and the oxygen. It's just like it's almost nothing. Um, and I'm just kind of curious your thoughts on that.
That I love the sharing mainly because yeah, we don't often talk about like the simple tools, but the simple tools are just as good. In fact, any tool that works is just as good as, these profound practices that we seem to believe are necessary, like meditation or whatever else. Whatever works to get you into the experience more directly, the better, with just one tiny caveat. Self-indulgent or not, that sounds like a judgment after the fact. If it's getting you deeply into something, then it's likely beginning to establish a type of momentum that we want really to be a part of. I mean, there's something really innocent here that can show up, and sometimes that can be, or it can appear as self-indulgence, but really you're stepping into an emotional experience, a deeply felt experience. So that's good enough as it is. That's the momentum we want to be in. because most of these identity structures are designed for different varieties and different forms of repression. And so if you're doing something that isn't repression, then it's likely beginning to open you up more. The small caveat that I would give you is simply as long as we don't become dependent on something, that's all. Use the tool to kind of, it's almost like we can use thought and narrative on occasion to tap into something that's right here, like you said, millimeters away, or that little membrane. And as soon as you tap into that, that's when you start letting go of the thoughts, letting go of the story, and it's full send into the experience itself. So use whatever tool works and use it till it reaches a threshold, and you will naturally know when it does because it will seem not to work anymore. And when that's the case, that means there's something else. This is the benefit of always realizing the novel nature of what's immediate and spontaneous right here, right now. But yes, when it comes to music, sure, use it. Videos, art, anything like that, if it helps you get closer to something, use it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was grief is, I think, one of the places that's hard to go on my own that feel like I need somebody or something or some like a third point of reference. If it's just me and my memories or me and my self-reflection or me, it seems to be a little hard to access. Um, but yeah, appreciate the subtle guidance on that.
Yeah,
And
and don't over focus on that caveat that I pointed
yeah,
out. You'll just know there's an intuition here. Um, Something else to point out when it comes to tapping into grief, it is not uncommon, and this is one of the reasons that we do things like shadow circling and things like that, because for some reason it brings the dharmic tension to the forefront of our experience. We start to feel the tension of that grief more fully for some reason. You'll probably notice that, when you're by yourself, there's something else that wants to create a little bit of a repression or a block. And I think you'll probably start to realize what that fine line is as you begin to explore with the music and other things that seem to provide some penetration into that experience. Fundamentally, though, the grief doesn't really have a reason. It doesn't seem to. There can be a narrative to it, but it's almost like our loss of innocence. It's the feeling of coming back into wholeness that we can call grief. It is actually the experience of transformation itself. It must be exactly what the caterpillar feels when it becomes butterfly. It must be exactly what the flower feels as it's about to bloom. It seems to be the momentum of transformation itself. And so, whatever works, my friend, just don't become dependent. That's all. And use your resources. I know you come to group and that seems to have an effect. Good. These that's why we do these things, because there is a social emotional aspect to this identity, and that's what we're really cracking. We're breaking a certain type of momentum into something that's more natural. So it's a good question, good share. Yeah,
thank you,
man.
thank you, thank you.
Good stuff. Thanks.
Yeah.
Swara.
Hello.
Hi.
Um, everything Paulo was just sharing was just everything that lives inside of me. And um, my heart is racing, and I feel that dharmic tension in this space. So thank you. Um, I was in on a Zoom panel with Dr. Gabor Mate, and Melissa Etheridge was there, and they were talking about psychedelics and the medicine that psychedelics can be. And I have a unique background uh, using music and emotional release to access some of these um, openings in consciousness. And so I don't know. I just feel like screaming, like, yes, Listen to music. Yes. Dance. Yes. Move. It's so powerful. And I think, I guess that's all I wanted to say.
I, I do want to bring up something that could be really important to pay attention to also. Sometimes some of the frameworks in which we use can justify something else. So here's what was discovered in the depths of shadow work in my experience is that there is no such thing as release at all. It doesn't ever go anywhere. Sometimes it transforms, other times it doesn't. Sometimes when we get to that deep rupturing and it feels like it starts to like chill out and we reach catharsis, what can happen sometimes is that we get a sense of there's a sense of disassociation that happens, so something gets held intact. What I highly recommend for everyone is to keep that dharmic tension, keep your integrity intact, and really ask yourself if anything that you're experiencing is a strategy to avoid something else. Always ask if there's something that's showing up that's a strategy. This is the double-edged sword that we deal with all the time. Some things can be really effective, and then they lead to an overcorrection, and then we go back the other way and we overcorrect, and that's part of the oscillation that seems to happen here. So I just highly encourage all of you not to stop, even when it seems like it's coming to a close in some way. Keep going because that's where things begin to really develop and transpire and transcend. We're really never done. How far are you willing to go is a powerful question here. How deep are you willing to go? And I think a lot of us will start to develop a cycle of comfort with our emoting. I've seen it happen where we will emote to a certain point and then there, okay, I don't go any further than this. There's like a stoppage. Squeeze that lemon, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. And I promise you, this is where you will find some pretty profound truths will start to arise. No self tends to happen in the deepest place of what the mind usually views as overwhelm. It shows up in this impossible, can't get out of here, can't resist it, can't fight it. It's everything. And when you realize that whatever you're feeling is literally everything, it loses the quality that seems to be so difficult or uncomfortable. We could just pose it this way. If the entire universe, down to the atomic level, was composed of suffering itself, could you know what suffering was? This is the pointing. There is no differentiation of experience. So if it seems differentiated, meet it so fully that it consumes you, that there's nothing left, that you die into the experience. Also, in a hardcore pointing way, this is indecipherable from death ultimately. Your mind will not be able to know if you are dying or not, so it will convince you that you are. That's kind of the point. When they call it ego death, they're not just making that like a fun little game. It means exactly the way it sounds. Something dies, something lives. To realize that you are both here and gone simultaneously is a gift. It destroys all sense of time, all sense of agency, all sense of space. You become oneness, completely whole. I mean, it's already the case, but it is very readily realized in that instance. So yes, of course, use the tools, but if that you have a pattern of using the tools, we must keep that tension tight and ask, what if I don't? What if I don't? What if I don't do the thing? And then what we start to see is the soothing mechanisms can become subtler and subtler and subtler, and until there's something as simple as the way that we're breathing, the way that we position the tongue in our mouth, the way we move our eyes, the way we sit, the way we dress, the way we groom, every single thing can be used in a co-opted form. This is the type of diligence and vigilance that we're speaking to. How far are you willing to go? Something else here. Attention never rests, ever. If you are that attention itself, which it seems like we are, then I guess there's no need to manage that either. It seems to happen on its own. So I like what you pointed to for sure. And keep in mind that every sword has two sharp edges. That's all. No right, no wrong. It doesn't work like that, of course. And look, sometimes we need to rest, it seems. We need to take a break from something. That's okay too. But if we start to use that exclusively, we start to basically acquire an addiction because all addiction is designed to avoid something else. And then you'll see the nature of satisfaction, that which thinks it can control and modify and engineer our reality. Not so.
Mm.
That's akin to the little kid in that shopping cart that you see sometimes at the grocery store with the steering wheel. You know, he thinks he's steering the whole thing. But are you though? Something like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I need to tune out too. My partner was in an accident last night, and we were up all night, um, hospital and
Mm,
stuff like that. So I really also resonate with, I don't know, um, facing death.
mm,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'm sorry I have to leave.
mm. Let me know if you need anything.
Thank you.
Mm.
Bye.
All right, let's go, Steve.
Hi, Josh. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for being here. I'm always so grateful for these sessions. And I find it so synchronous that the first two speakers spoke about music. I often describe myself as a recovering musician, having tried to study it professionally, and kind of running out of talent near the end. But after starting the meditation process in the last few years, I've made a lot more peace with it, and it's really just miraculous. I don't know why sound creates emotion, and those two are so intimately linked, but it's a miracle. It's amazing, and I get, and Paulo, to your point, I get the self-indulgent edge too. Yeah, because having studied it and being in the scene, you see a lot of self-indulgence. Guilty of it myself, but there's a purity there too. Um, So my question is really a really simple one, I think. And I know it has a lot of just mental aspects of it. So just trying to balance what I'm feeling versus what I'm thinking about it. But it's about activation energy. I wanted to ask, I know that you had Josh had spoke about activation energy before, Angelo has mentioned it before, and I'd like to know what's the best way that that arises? Is it something not to worry about? And I'm asking because this week for me has been really quite wonderful. It's been full of synchronicities. It's like the right people are showing up at the right time. The right information is happening, coming to me at the right time to be able to make a decision. Um, Seemingly like two different problems would cancel themselves out and a solution would appear. And I felt very present and very easygoing, and everything had a real flow this entire work week, despite the normal stresses of the job and all that. Um, and it just seems so easy. I think my mind is sensing this. You're losing your edge because you're not trying too hard, so hard. You need to increase your increase your efforts, or be more one pointed, or be even more present, um, to attain that activation energy. And if that's what does it, that's great. But I don't know. I could just use a little guidance maybe on
Man,
what fuels the fire.
well, this is interesting mainly because the whole point of this destabilization, this activation energy, is to step into intuitive, effortless existence. It's designed to shake up identity structures so that we realize there's this type of momentum, this river of what is, always available here. So it reminds me of something my grandfather used to say: "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." Um, so to get really direct, what's the problem?
Okay.
The
That might be.
activation is really when we're sitting in the midst of feeling like there's a problem, that's when we start to shake some stuff up. But if there's not a problem, then where's the problem?
Yeah.
But also, I do want to point this out for anyone else who's listening and has had this experience. This is the nature of doubt. Doubt is also the same mechanism that when you're really high on something that you like a drug or alcohol or anything, life, something you really enjoy, it's the little secret voice that goes, "Oh, but this can be better. How about a little bit more? This could be better. How about a little bit more?" It's just a thought, though, because it is as it is. And if there's not a problem, then you don't need to be seeking out a point of resistance. Instead, what I highly recommend is you stay so fully immersed in your experience that when resistance arises, it's a game of cosmic peekaboo. And you go, oh, boom, full engagement. There's your activation energy on its own. You don't need to do anything, it will show you life points.
Perfect.
This is the nature of integration. That's what it's like here all the time. There's a flow, 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 and then peekaboo, all of a sudden there's like some kind of squeeze down here, and it's like, what's that? Like Scooby-Doo. So it's full engagement with that sensation, it's full engagement with that experience, and it tends to work itself out. It's just integration. You don't need to add anything here.
Thank you. That's perfect. I suspected as much. It just somehow, when you say it, it's a little different.
You know
It takes
why?
care of that doubt. So thank
You
you.
know, there's also that subconscious part of the mind that's like, it can't be this simple.
Yeah.
There's got to
Yeah.
be
There's,
something else to work
yeah.
on. There's got to be something else to do. I got to be missing something. That's just
Yeah.
that's the nature of thought. It winds down as long as you don't entertain it. Don't give it any more fuel than it has to let itself go.
Okay.
It's testing and prodding. It not that it has like some kind of super agenda, but that's what it's designed to do. Is like, are you sure? But are you
Mhm.
sure? And in a way, you'll find that there's always a vigilance here anyway, something that's always completely in touch with everything. Fundamentally, right now, you are feeling everything that is to be felt. There's nothing that you're not. You have to let the mind has to make it up. If you're missing something, the mind is making up what you're missing. You can't see what you're missing.
I love it. Thank you. And then and thanks to all of you for being here because the other a little mini theme of the week had been kind of a loneliness, because the path can be lonely because the more awake you feel, the more things you're noticing. You notice a lot of mind mindful people, people full of mind stuff and not able to concentrate or pay attention and all that. And I can patiently wait for most all of them, but sometimes it does feel a little lonely. So I was the last one to sign up, I think, for this, but it was just appeared at the perfect time. So it's like, oh, people my peeps who understand the how presence is so vast and how the mind is not not very just not reality. So thank you all for being here, and it's very synchronous. So
Good timing.
it ain't broke, Grandpa. So thank you.
Totally. And you know what you'll start to here's something I'll just point out to not really dangle the carrot, but to kind of give you a tiny nudge. Um, that's definitely it felt quite lonely seeing the identification of people, like you said, it did. If or maybe even like a tinge of frustration was there for a while. And
Yeah.
then I started to see where it all stemmed from. It was like penetrating through every layer of a human experience to see that hurt, small, scared child in every human being. And then it
Yeah.
all there was no more loneliness because that was all shared. That was all shared everywhere. That everyone's going through this. And so maybe you're not quite as alone as it may seem.
No, it's definitely a mental thing because that's what was kind of the magic of the week was that there was it's like you said in your intro how the room we enter, it's all the same room for everyone. We're not
Mhm.
seeing it the same. We're not interpreting it the same, but it's the same reality, and that's how those things happen. That's how those synchronicities happen. Where the right person shows up and the connections are made, and yeah, it's got to be one sheet of music.
Yeah.
We're all on the same sheet of music. We just have to play our part.
This body's an instrument. Let it play.
Love it.
And it gets interesting from here, of course, too. But a lot of traditions will tell you you're not your body. Um, for now, though, if there seems to be a body, if there seems to be sensation, yes, you are. Find out what that's all about. This is the nature of studying the self in that Dogen quote. To study the Buddha way is to study the self. To study the self is how is all this seemingly functioning? And then it collapses and then opens up again. We move from unintegrated emptiness to integrated emptiness. It's quite remarkable. And that's what I see. If you have this period of flow state, don't mess with it. Leave it alone. Don't touch.
Wonderful.
Hmm. Nice to see you, man.
Thank you. Good to see you.
All right, let's go, Chip.
Hi, everybody. My name's Chip. They call me Chip. Uh, Last time you and I met in cyberspace, Josh, I had a beard. Um, I don't know why I said that. I was like, there's a lot of things I listened to you, and my memory is not good. The guy with the funny haircut, what's his name? The guy that talks on YouTube all the time. Yeah, yeah, that guy. Um, that makes sense, and a lot of it goes, you know, like the Dharma to me, it makes sense when it makes sense, and when it doesn't, it just doesn't, and so I need to move on. Um, uh,
Love it.
um, I, Speaking of addiction, I lived a very dark life for half my life, very dark, very very violent, and part of me loved it because I felt powerless, helpless as a child, and I love the power that it gave me. Uh, but I hated it at the same. I grew to hate myself at the same time because I was hurting so many people. So like a door opened and I decided to walk through it, and it's like I decided to walk through it, but I had already decided to walk through it before I even got here, or something like that. Like that's what I was looking for anyway, in all that drugs and violence and all that, and so I've been on that path for a while, and at first I didn't feel anything because like I was just I had hardened myself so much, I didn't feel anything. And I thought there's something wrong with me. I must be a psychopath or something. The counselor told me I was emotionally frozen. But one day I was at home and I was watching um, man, Magnolias, Steel Magnolias. Okay, I love Julia Roberts. I'd never seen the movie. I didn't hear anything about the movie. I'm watching the movie, and I didn't know she died in the movie. And I just came unglued. I just, wow, just cried like a baby, just sobbing, sobbing, sobbing. And that was the first time I had really felt any emotion other than fear in years. And so it told me I wasn't as broken as I thought, that it's still, I thought I was inherently broken, but found out I wasn't. And then these past 5 years, I stopped working to take care of my mother who had dementia. We were best friends. And so I stayed in her home and took care of her it was just me. And I suffered so much, and she suffered not as much because she was pretty happy most of the time. But as she went away, I began to my life has had a lot of suffering. And when I would try to like go into emotions, it all turned into mind stuff. It all turned into thought. So it didn't work. But it would blindside me and I would just go to the floor. Like I didn't make it happen. I couldn't make it happen. When it came, it came. And when it came, it just knocked me down. And one day I just went in through my room like a tornado. I just tore everything apart, wound up on the floor, sobbing. And I had a friend on the phone. It was dark. I didn't know where my phone was, but she kept saying, "It's okay. Just let it out." And I probably cried for an hour. You know, my dad died, and then my mom died. You know, within a very close time. And
Hey, Chip,
yeah,
where's that feeling right now?
where's that feeling right now?
It's here for
It's
sure.
heavy. It is heavy. I feel heavy now. I feel
And that's
right
a
now.
strategy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Don't fall for the strategy. Touch it.
yeah, yeah.
Get close. Where do you feel it?
Just all in here. It's just
Touch it.
everywhere. Where do I
Touch,
feel it? Everywhere,
touch
everywhere.
where it seems to center. Where does it seem most dense?
My
There you go.
eyes,
Stay with it. Feel
my
it.
eyes.
Feel it in the trunk of your body. That sensation is in the eyes is fine. I want you to feel that feeling that's showing up in the trunk of your body.
My gut. I have a pain. I have a lot of pain in there.
Stay there. Stay it. You're doing great.
I have a lot of pain. It's not just emotional, it's physical.
Sure. Stay
It's
with it anyway. What does it feel like?
like it just wants to explode. Like just wants to explode.
How does it want to express right now?
Rage,
Express?
break things. I want to break things and
Well,
scream.
before the breaking and the all that, how does it want to express right now?
Sadness is terrible sadness.
Express it.
Doesn't work that way for me.
Stay with it. Just keep asking it to express. Does it maybe say a word? Does it make a sound? Stay with it. Just stay with it.
Yeah,
There you go, right there. That's
yeah,
it. Stay with that. Stay.
yeah, yeah.
You don't have to do anything, okay? We're just having you stay close to it. I have no expectations, my friend. Just stay. You're good. You're okay. Get close.
I feel myself contracting over it. Just
Contract. That's fine. Whatever presents, that's what you say yes to, and then rinse, repeat, my friend. Get a little closer to the contraction. Stay with it. I'm noticing your body language. You're doing great, man. Oh yeah. Stay. Just stay. Just stay. You're all right. Just stay. Nice and easy. If it comes out a little harder, let it do that too. There you go. Stay with that. Hmm. Hmm. Stay with it. I got you. Mm.
a lot of resistance. It
It's
just
okay. It's going to be waves like this. That's fine. Let it do what it's going to do. The resistance is fine. But what I'm seeing right now is a man who's very close to his experience. You're doing fantastically. Stay. Just stay. You're doing great. And from here, you can just explore getting closer. There you go.
yeah.
There you go. Let it express. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. It's pain everywhere. It's so much pain everywhere.
I understand.
Just pain everywhere.
Stay with it. That's a good statement too. It's just pain everywhere. If you stay with that, keep repeating it, it'll let you express a little bit more deeply. Just keep repeating it. You don't doesn't even have to be out loud. Just it's pain everywhere. It's pain everywhere. This is your innocence speaking.
It just goes around my body, just hitting everything, just
Stay with it though. Stay close to where it seems to be centered.
uh,
I put out a video years ago that a lot of people find valuable. It's called Touching Shame. And it's basically what you're doing right now is naturally going through that process. I haven't really done a lot of guiding. I'm just reminding you to stay close.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Feel this. Fuck this. I fucking don't want to fucking feel this shit.
There you go. Stay with that.
Fucking doesn't stop.
Keep
It just
going. Make it all the
doesn't
way.
stop,
Keep
man.
going. Don't
Fucking
give up on. There you
stop.
go. All the way. There you go.
No, no, fuck, hell, fucking no, no.
Stay with it. You're doing
Damn it,
great, man.
fuck.
Good stuff.
Don't want to do this.
Hmm. Am I pushing too much? I
Let
just
it
want to
go.
check.
I don't want to let it go. I don't want to let it go. I don't want to
You
let it go.
don't have to let it go. Stay with it. It's here. Don't get rid of something that's here. It's you. Get closer.
ah, feels like everything I love is gone.
Hmm.
It just feels like everybody I love is gone.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not true, though. It's not true. It's not
Okay.
true.
Okay. You
It
can
feels
feel what
that
you feel.
feels that way. Yeah, feels
Right.
that way.
You feel how you feel. You don't have to justify it.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
What do you need, Chip?
I need me. That's what I need. I need me.
Well, this is what the process of being all the way with that looks like. Stay close to it like this, just like you did. Let it come in waves like you did, and just the metaphor is squeeze that lemon. I saw you squeezing it pretty hard. That's good. You want that rupture to take you all the way so the body starts self-regulating itself. Deeply, deeply, deeply into that feeling, deeply, deeply, deeply. There's no mind, body starts regulating, and then you come back into some kind of reintegration. Stay with it as often as you can. See how far you can go, how deep you can go into the feeling.
Well, there's so much pain in my gut and my neck, and my head just feels like it wants to explode, and it doesn't really go away.
Yeah,
You know.
it just needs to be met. It it wants to transform, and a lot of that will look like the way you expressed. It will look like the expression. Just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
In the meantime, do me a favor, take your hand and go like this on your forehead, just right on the center,
Yeah.
and then take your other hand and put it over your navel, touching the skin, and just alternate your attention between forehead and navel. Just we're just kind of realigning the energetics of feeling. So I can feel on the forehead, the palm all the way down. I can feel just alternating attention. everything in between.
It even felt like my feet were trying to explode.
Oh man, I understand. Totally.
Fuck.
There, there you go. You're doing some good natural things to re-regulate the body. The trick here is we don't want to be too regulated, nor do we want to be too dysregulated. So it's going to be a lot of this is going to be your own exploration, touching the very edge of this on a regular basis, letting yourself feel. It's amazing how feeling can become so physical, right?
It is. It really is. And then
That's
you start going to the doctor, and it's like, oh yeah, it's this, it's that. No, it's not. It's not. No.
I see a lot of naturalness in you, just the way you're even allowing yourself to stay intimate in your own experience. It's good, man. It's good stuff.
I know it's just so uncomfortable.
I understand.
It's just, but it's just uncomfortable. It's not going to kill me. Oh, it's not going to kill me. But it's going to stop me from living. I don't.
You just got to get to know it.
Got to keep going.
You
Effort.
showed us in real time. My sense is you could probably get a little closer, but you started getting there for sure. That whatever this is, you understand the momentum of it more.
Yeah,
And you're always touching it, but it doesn't mean you always have to jump into the deep end. Just always touch it. Always know it. Rinse, repeat.
yeah. Thank you.
You did a good job re-regulating too. You're back. And
Yeah,
then maybe another wave, boom, full commitment. And then you're back. Full wave, boom, again and again and again. It can feel like being in I don't know, a hurricane. I don't know.
yeah. It's kind of like that. I live in Florida, so I'm used to that
Oh,
feeling.
so you know firsthand.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Josh. Thanks everybody for
Of course.
allowing me.
Glad to see you, man.
I'm okay. Glad to see you too.
Mhm. Thanks for being here.